trying to eat breakfast.
Yeah. Actually, I'll wait until.
Dude, the one thing I do like about Picard, that Stargazer looks hot.
Yeah.
That looks really fucking good, actually.
Hey, Boom, where did you write your proposals of things that they should fix in the game? Because I didn't see it. I was curious.
From what I read, he didn't say shit. He just posted, like, this is what we should talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Boom likes to keep it close to the vest. You know, he doesn't really like to give, ideas and things. He's more of an idea churner.
I've posted in there's a channel, STSE Game Ideas. I posted one there. I have a couple others maybe kicking around, but I want to hear from other people. I can talk to myself any fucking time.
We have a whole thread. We have a whole thread based on that.
Hey, before we get going really heavy, shout out to Madam Stargazer for dealing with our bullshit on server 34, and the rest of the moderation team.
She totally got to the point where she was tired of hearing it, though.
Yeah,
you wore her out.
What amazed me is that it's so funny that she jumps in and was like, "Y'all need to chill out." So a lot of people chill out, to include myself, and people start arguing with her. I'm like, just say yes. Just fucking say yes, dude. Just shut up. Just say yes and shut up. I am. Everybody else is. Shut the fuck up.
Way too hard.
It's okay. They have their own echo chamber now. They have their
own they left. That's right. They fucked off.
Dude, I went in the Discord. Some of the garbage that's in there is dumbfounding.
Oh, dude. He invited me to that months ago, and I jumped in there and I was looking at it and I was like, "Did you just send an invite to every asshole in the game?"
I think so. Because that's all it is. It's like the most. Yeah. Anyway,
if Hitler had a Discord, anyway. So, game ideas: removal from the App Store, deletion of the game. Replace it with something better, a refund, even 10% refund. I'd be okay with at this point.
That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, even if they're like, "Hey, man, give up your account and we'll give you a month's supply of cocktail peanuts," I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm sold."
Those actually have a really good purpose. Just putting it out there.
I mean, not pistachios.
Well,
they're too cheap for pistachios, dude. There's no way.
A text got to start the show before we get into it. By the way,
before we get into beer nuts,
we're already into it.
Well, beer nuts. Go ahead. And
it's been recording. It's been recording.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can introduce. Start the show.
Or even cashews. I mean, come on.
We're doing this. We're doing it live, man. We're doing it Bill O'Reilly style.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
But beer nuts actually have a solid purpose. So when you drink booze, for all intents and purposes, you basically piss out about 50% more fluid or water than you take in, and you waste salt. So beer nuts, because they're very salty, actually replenish a lot of that, and a lot of what a hangover is actually the loss of salt in your body, changing your body chemistry, and it causes brain swelling.
Correct, but the other thing that beer nuts do too is also cause you to drink more too.
It does make you thirsty because you're taking in salt.
So this is why I was at a friend of mine's party. Probably I went back home like a year or two ago. That was a friend of mine's party, and he was like, we were kind of at the point where we knew we were winding down. And he's like, "I'm gonna get some water." I said, "Hey man, grab me some salt." And he was like, "What?" Mm-hmm. And I poured some salt in the water and shook it up and I drank it. And he was like, "What are you doing? You're gonna be dehydrated." I was like, "Actually." I was like, "Right now." But wait, there's more. I was like, "You don't have any salt in your body, dude." I was like, "Do it." And then so the next day he wakes up and I was like, "How do you feel?" He was like, "Surprisingly not as bad as I thought I would feel." And I was like, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
I was a bartender years ago, and I have a hangover remedy that's really good, and it's basically just water, lemonade, OJ, and salt, and then you put a 2 quarters of lime and a quarter of an orange in it. Shake it, strain it into a glass, and literally you're going to be good in 10 minutes. It literally takes care of it.
So anyone with GERD or any other sort of reflux issue, I'm sorry you can't partake in that.
Well, yeah, but hey, it works.
Well, do you want heartburn? Do you want a hangover? Take your pick.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah. Anyway, so ideas for the game. I don't know. I feel
Well,
like we've exhausted that, but
first idea for Scopely is get their head out of their ass and fix the epic checks after 36. Why the fuck do I need a Devore out of an epic chest at 37?
well, that's not going to change. It changes at 39.
Yeah.
Well, well, I've heard of people who are at 40s that are getting divorced still, and it's like, what the fuck?
No, you only get divorce from, I think it actually goes away at 36. You only get it from
nope, 37. I'm getting them.
What epic chest? You talking about the daily?
No, the epic chests. The epic chests, like from Armada.
Oh, the Armada. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nobody in the. I can tell you right now, nobody in the 40s is getting them.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, nobody in the 40s is getting divorced. They don't give you divorce parts there.
Well,
no, the only way you can get divorce after 39 is through event stores or your monthly turn-in.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, nobody in the 50s clicks on that chest.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Let's see.
At 43, the G4 epic chests, the cost, the return on investment, it's just, for me, it's really not worth it because I don't really get enough epic credits to do that. And so I still do the G3s because I get a bunch of faction credits and materials and shit like that. So it still works out.
So fixing that, I mean, or changing that would be nice, but also to go along this line, one thing that would be really nice to change is actually update any of the drop chests, like hostile drop chests, or your standard daily, 4-hour chests, 24-hour chests into something that actually means something other than just trying to complete your dailies.
Yeah,
that would be my vote, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I like that.
I can get behind that.
Something else that one of my players came up with too, because he was bitching about presets, because that's like the biggest bullshit thing that they ever came out with, the way they did it. And he had a good point. He said it should be assigned to each dock, where you have a preset for a dock, for example, or you can set a dock up for a preset.
You know what's funny? I got so used to just sliding and picking officers that I do it so quickly. I don't use presets. They waited too long. I have a system that works, and I just didn't change it.
Yeah, I don't
give a shit about presets.
I don't do them either, but at the same time, you could have, how you normally use a mining dock, a PvP dock, a PvE dock, etc. If you just do a hot swap and stuff, so you don't. The only thing that fucks that up is away teams, because depending on how much crew you have and how far out you are with their traits, in my opinion, that's what I told him.
Well, but I mean, my issue with the presets are, your above deck, to be quite honest, is the stuff that is so muscle memory that it's not hard to do. It's that you forget what your below deck has to be. Am I stacking health? Am I stacking, attack?
Defense,
whatever.
attack, yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing that actually takes more brain power. Whereas, particularly since we've been in war for a while, like switching between my PvE and PvP, crews is, I mean, it's pure muscle memory.
Right. I totally agree. But it's just it's one of those things where it's like it'd be nice where even right now, I could have 5 docs at 37 if I wanted to pay for it. I'm not going to, but if I wanted
why
to,
not though? I mean, no, this is a serious question though. I mean, you're getting a building pack.
Well,
worth of material.
Serious question is right now I just got a new job and I don't have the money right now to mess with that.
That's legit. But I'm just saying, I mean, obviously cost notwithstanding, and we all know that that's a real life factor. But I mean,
correct.
Getting a new dock, I mean, you're basically buying a building pack and getting a dock for free.
Right.
But I mean, again, reality is reality.
Yeah, I don't see it happening in the maybe in the next 2 months, maybe, depending if I have other things taken care of. But again, this is my fun time game to get out of reality. But I'm not going to spend a shit ton of money on this game.
You're
especially
one of the mature ones.
Yeah,
How's that new building working out, by the way?
Which one?
Treasury?
Yeah.
It hasn't done anything. It just sits there and I upgrade it.
Well, it does do some. Does do a couple things, and
some mining and cargo and that BS. I mean,
well, but the thing is Whales and free to play alike. It actually does do something for you, especially, or even the dolphins that are in the middle that have an amalgam, for example. It does increase your cargo capacity and stuff, so it does help on rating and stuff. You will see those.
Well, but if you're a whale, your Nova has more cargo capacity if you're actually utilizing the cargo capacity rather than the over.
Well, I'm 37, so I actually don't know what the ship capacities are after level 50 or whatever. You know what I mean? So give me a break there.
No, totally understood.
So effectively, the building's pretty much useless.
For now, and the thing is that there's two things that they supposedly have coming out of it, from my understanding. One of them is obviously, you stack it up for the 14 days or whatever it is of all the shit that you can potentially buy with real money. There's supposed to be another feature that comes out of it too.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
So what the feature is that when they have to start some type of event, and the event is going to start stocking the treasury with either dailies or what you mine or something that's a little bit confusing right now.
Essentially, guys, it's a battle pass.
Not incorrect. But then you have to at the conclusion of that event or that time frame or whatever, you are going to have to spend real money and buy a rod to unlock it. I don't know why they chose rod, but they did.
It was used in an
DS9
episode. Yeah,
Rom used a de-sealing rod.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question. Since I don't really pay much attention, what does the community? How does DJ hype up this thing? Because he's got to hype it up. Like, what did he say to hype it up?
Well, the thing is it was an epic fail on him this time, because literally he had three days that he just reposted it yesterday to get X amount of viewers to give out X more amount battle passes that Scopely is paying for and stuff. And it's like, yeah, this was a failure. It wasn't good on their part. I know for a fact there's a little more content that's supposed to come out yet for this battle pass. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's them just fixing their fuck up or if it's setting up for the next.
There's still there can't be anything else to come out.
Supposedly there's like 2 more things, as I understand it, but I don't know what. And it's maybe fixes. I don't know.
Is Scopely getting lazier? Because all I hear is like, "Oh my god, we're gonna come out with this new building. It's gonna do this and that," and then it really just sits there.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing about the building was that the thing that created the backlash, which was the tax that they were going to put on rating.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was because of something that had been suggested by. I mean, a lot of people realized it on their own, but not everyone has particularly utilized it, which is whales can load up on very high level packs and then share them down to their alliance. And and then now their alliance can effectively raid those whales and get millions of trit and or billions even, depending on how generous somebody's feeling, and and far exceeding what they should otherwise have at their level, what they would be able to buy in a pack. And for example, if Boom were to buy a station pack, he would probably have how many billion or how many billion par, Boom?
It'd probably be like 2 trillion.
No, it's not up to 2 trillion, but it's over 1 trillion now. I'd have to look.
Yeah, I mean,
it gets there. For a station pack at 60 gets you close to 2 trillion, or right about there. But yeah, we did that, several months ago. The basically just alliance sharing, and I'll tell you, the backlash on our server was incredible. I mean, you guys are cheating, and it's miserable, and oh my god, you're trying to stack the scoreboard. Like, wait, there's scoreboards? So I mean, it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is that it's losing Scopely money.
Correct.
And which is why Scopely implemented or was going to implement the Treasury to the way that it was, which was going to nerf the amalgam. And they the community, honestly, the way that they were going to implement it was even more nefarious than I mean, and I use this the way that it kicked back 20% to the person being rated basically ensured that, because they never came out and said how much the tax was going to be on the level banding. And but by kicking back 20%, if it actually came back as as resources, it was going to be a cumulative loss, because let's say let's say somebody loses 100, gets rated for 100 million RSS, and 20% are lost, or let's use a different percentage. Let's say 50% is lost to a level banded person. So there's 50,000 or 50 million that's lost, and then 20% goes back to the person being rated, who and that 10% gradually gets, or that 20% gradually gets eaten away even further.
Yeah.
So it was going to be brutal.
it's like compounding interest is really kind of what
exactly.
It is. But
except
I mean,
compounding losses.
Well, exactly. So it's going in the wrong direction.
Right.
But that was the first time I've actually been pleased to see that, there was relatively rapid response to community backlash on the behalf of Scopely. Because it was pretty explosive, and it was within a week and a half or so.
No, it was less than that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty quick. It was obvious. Oh fuck, they hate it. Oh shit.
It was
Call somebody in the mouth.
It was like 3 days. It was like 3 days until I heard something.
Yeah, it's odd though, because there was, from my perspective, much more backlash on the 1500 hostile cap. But
and they gotta fix that shit too. That's terrible.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, they're not gonna fix it.
You can tell by the way that they released it that they gave it a lot of thought, and they absolutely wanted it to happen. The way that they did that.
All that it means is that they're going to find a different way to nerf the amalgam. I mean, so
Well,
You
but
know,
so you
they're
think
not.
they're going to nerf the amalgam like that?
I mean, that's what it was. It was a nerf to the amalgam.
Yeah, I mean, I get where that's coming from, but this is the bipolar nature that cracks me up about Scopely. Is oh, we don't want you guys to to go up and rep, so we're going to give you a 1500 cap, and then oh, we're going to bring out this ship, and totally unrelated to that is the fact that every 3 days you can get this doodad where you can get a pack that will give you faction rep exos. Like, wait, what? Like, oh, we don't want you to raid, using this new ship that we didn't really think about, and then oh, by the way, we're going to come out with a raiding officer. Like, it's so bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that it's more, it's unintended consequences. They don't necessarily see, the consequences of some of the things that they introduce, and I think what that really boils down to is their failure at playtesting. I mean, and maybe part of that's due to how, as I understand it, the test server is set up, where you're not buying packs and stuff like that. But I mean, what that ends up doing is, when they don't do this playtesting, and they don't do it extensively. I mean, like, some of the MMOs that I've played and play tested for, my understanding is that this one, it has maybe like a month lead time for playtesting on test. And whereas some of the MMOs that I've played for, they would be designing content and dropping it on test 6 months ahead of time, or longer. And
well, it's even beyond that, though. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion that Scopely is understaffed and the whole 9 yards, but I think it's very proof that they actually have people that are game developing that actually have no actual knowledge of the game.
Oh,
So
well, no, it's more like they have interns working for them.
Or that, I mean, but again, it's a lack of overall game knowledge. So, for example, when they drop some of this new stuff, the unintended consequences are things that, I mean, within hours of it being brought out, we're talking about it on several different discords of like, oh, this will break that. I mean, it's staggeringly fast by the community that actually knows what the fuck is going on because it actually plays the game. So the people that are coding, they're told what to do and they do it, and that's basically it. They don't have any real oversight, like the bird's eye view kind of play knowledge that's required to actually make it a successful implementation of what they're trying to do. They have this large scale stuff and they come up with an idea and they say, hey, you guys code this, but they don't have anybody that has this, high level knowledge of how the game is played, etc., in order to see, some of these unintended consequences.
Which the irony there to me is, if you do things in the IT world, like, you always have to test a degree in production. The only real world way to identify those issues is to test in the real world, and it wouldn't be that hard for Scopely. Like, literally, they have some of the underpinnings already. They have things like server transfer capabilities and whatnot. All they would have to do would be to update it to clone. So they would have a number of users who would be interested in just cloning their account onto a little test server to test new features ahead of time. And we would break stuff constantly, because that's just what we do in our nature. And then we could point it out. And rather than them actually rolling this shit out to the game at large first, they would roll it out there, see that it was broken or what the issues were, and then rethink their bullshit before they then put it into the game itself.
Boom, didn't they do that for a minute when they were doing the PC version? Or am I wrong there? I could have sworn they
They
had a
let-
beta
No,
version for a minute.
Well, they let people they let the PC version out to a subset of people, but it wasn't a different environment. It was just, hey, here's the PC client. Does it
Yeah.
work?
Are you talking about pointing it to like a stage server or production server kind of thing for the world, or are you talking about for the
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in beta, it did work that way. There was a sort of test environment that you could, if you were a good beta boy, get into to play with if one of the devs liked you. But that was a long time ago. Scopely's changed kind of how it runs the game very much since then.
Mhm.
Is there actually an open beta server still,
No.
or test server, or whatever you want to call it?
Well, to my knowledge, no. I did do beta and test because I'm a giant geek and I geeked my way into geeking. But that was in 2018, right? So
Yeah.
they once when the cutoff between live and beta was like super hard. It was like, bam, you are on server 1 through 12. Good luck. Bye. All the shit you had before is gone. You are level 1. Good luck. Which is fine. You can't buy uncommons anymore. Haha. And all those cool Vulcan and Bajoran ships and all the other stuff that are still in the game but aren't actually released were gone.
Oh, you just touched on a point that's one of my favorites. Is that Scopely puts out events for servers that are brand new that can't do fucking armadas. That all of a sudden, hey, you got an armada event on a server that can't even do armadas yet.
That speaks to them having a separate system to manage server maturation from managing server operation, if that makes sense. And that's kind of a dumb, clumsy thing.
Oh yes.
I don't think when they started, they had the same idea for how. I think it was probably 3 to 6 months into the game they realized that each server was sort of its own nest of spending and its own factors for spenders. And they made changes to how they did things, and they made changes to how packs were calculated by ops level. And then they rolled in things like, hey, if you're 120 widgets away from this thing, we're going to sell you a pack with 100 widgets, because then you'll probably buy 2 packs for 200 widgets, which is a thing they very much do today. So it's like they diverted their energy towards voodoo economics, right, to drive spending and revenue, which is a fair thing for business to do. But it didn't. They weren't quite smart enough at the beginning to do that, or they had intended to all along, and they had a point at which they converted it over. I don't think there was a difference in server maturity either for a long time until they started releasing, until we were well into Ops 30. I think all y'all know I had all the jellyfish by then, and then they started doing the server maturation releases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right, and that's exactly it. Is they were trying to push everybody to Ops 40 because they realized that they were losing money. Essentially,
in the mature servers, I think they were. Yeah, I mean, like certainly ours. I mean, because there was a lot of competition. People were willing to spend obscene amounts of money for what is really a terrible ship, but was fine at the time because it was new. It was a different thing. You have to always have fish. You have to have a baited hook to keep the fish eating the little fish to spend the fish. And I'm pretty sure that's why Ops 60 came out. I didn't have any good indicators it was coming when it did. I thought it was a few months away, but there it was.
Well, my understanding, though, is on a lot of servers before they had Ops 60 available, and I could be wrong here. This is just my understanding, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, is you had a lot of level 50 players that just basically started an alt account just because they were bored, because they couldn't do anything else. They maxed everything at Ops 50 and basically just let their account sit.
I think there's just a handful of those folks, though. Like, I mean, yeah, for sure, right? I know Inco was bored for sure, right, man?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing a lot more tanks and other stuff, just because once you finish out, particularly with the rep grinding, that's the thing that really keeps you stuck on the game. You have to do that, or like currently we're at war, so hunting and those kind of things are also going to keep you in the game. But if you're at peace and you're triple locked and the whole 9 yards, then there's aside from your doing your dailies, is like, what am I really kind of doing? There's not that much engagement.
Yeah, daily is like the least engaging thing in the universe, and the same events every 2 weeks after, out of cycle and all that. But for sure, I knew that's one of the reasons that most approached dark was to, hey, we're bored and we're quitting. We saw Nash quit, and other name level folks that are recognizable in the server for 3 years are leaving the game, right? So let's bring these people together. But of course, maybe that was some other plan that I don't know about. But
my favorite is when we've had mining events Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Come on, man.
Oh, isn't that great when you finish, a mining Monday and the next day your pinnacle of power is mining again? It's like,
right,
bruh.
Bro,
Like,
I
give me
pulled
a
in
day.
like 2 million quantity servers yesterday. I'm like, oh, damn you. Yes.
Or this freaking concentrated lap event that they keep sticking right after lap rush. Like 4 days of fucking mining after another day of mining.
It's so painful.
Yeah, and at least mining concentrated lab, it's not as
the
bad as it
numbers
was that first
show.
week.
There you go.
The numbers show that people mine, so that's clearly why they're in the game.
We're all engaged.
Yeah.
Damn farmers.
It's still painful to have to do, though. It's like, oof.
Yeah, if you put enough ROM shards behind a mining event, I'm going to mine the fuck out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been waiting to ask Inko and Handy, while I have the time here, because I'm probably going to have to jump off in a little bit. But have you guys participated in this new neutral place to talk to people about the ship blowing up occurrences?
hell no. I have no interest. So what he's referring to is,
I've joined the server, but I haven't spoken there at all.
so what he's referring to is, we're currently at war with a couple alliances and whatnot on our server, and it's gone from, you guys saw there was that Diplo channel down in this Discord, which I would argue was relatively neutral, and now there are all these little spin-off Discords, and I've been invited to 3 of them that are like, here, we're going to talk here, we're going to talk here. And the people that I've talked to, I'm like, look, can leadership at least say, like, who's going to talk and, like, where we're going to talk? Because I'm not going to be in so many Discords. Like, I try actively to decrease the amount of Discords I'm in.
Yeah, I hit my cap the other week, actually, when I joined the Diplo.
Did you really?
Yeah, I've just been lazy about it for a minute.
There's
and
a
so
cap?
I was like,
I didn't know there was a cap.
There is.
What's the cap at?
I think it's 99 or some shit. I don't remember.
Cap
it gave
is
me an
at
error.
100.
Yeah.
Cap is at 100 if you're not boosted, but if you are boosted, cap is 200.
That's right. I'm not boosted very much.
Oh my god, that's painful.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's on me for these are like dead alliance Discord I should have cleaned up months ago, but I did.
Holy snap! I didn't know it went up that high.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Kirk. Go man.
With the real reason, if anybody is wondering, and I don't really care if I hurt anyone, but the real reason is simply because, number one, they want to control who has a say so. Period. I mean, that's you don't really even have to read between the lines. It's pretty much been explicitly stated. We don't think people should be allowed to talk in there. We don't think you should be allowed to talk in there. You're not this, you're not that. Basically, what that signals to me is we don't care about anybody's opinion but Commodore's. So I don't think that's a good alliance if they only care about the opinions of people in positions of power there. So
can I speak to that, Kirk, real quick?
And hold on, number 2, the simple fact of the matter is that they didn't like that Handy and I are admins on this Discord.
Shit, I don't like that.
Really, if you don't, well, go start your own Discord, man. You can go start your own club, and
I did.
You did
server Discord. It's painful.
There you go. So, but anyway, I mean that's what's going on. So there have been some it's a neutral place, and that way, less people can jump in and chime in and stuff like that. And I understand it, but at the same time, if you're so transparent, then why do you have to go hide off in some private Discord somewhere?
I agree, Kirk. And I think to your point here, you guys have done what I would consider a more than fair job setting this up to be a neutral place.
Yep.
You have people that can tell you to shut the fuck up that you will listen to in your chat areas on the servers your admin's on, that there are disinterested parties who have some established history of being decent at administering shit other places. That's good. Also, I don't think that the kind of bullshit when we get this, about that, it's like, I can't talk there. Well, of course you can't talk there. You're just Joe asshole who's coming in from the side channel, right? So I don't think that when we set it up, we didn't have the intent to create like 2 speakers and 1 alternate and state all that extra shit that, someone like Rafe would want, right? But like in the end, here's what at least the intent should be, if anyone's going to try and be successful with this, or if you guys are going to join up on any of the other random ones, is if they have it set up so the roles that can talk have roles that can listen and not talk, right? From like Alliance A and Alliance B, speakers and listeners. And then there's a chat area for that shit. And then they go off and do their side channel stuff, come back. That might work. But what it can't be is, it's on the MBD server. Good God, it's on Lethal's server. Yeah, good God, that's even worse. I love that man. And his server's pretty fine and funny too, right? But it's not, none of those places are set up to do the thing. A place that's going to be like for a peace talk should just be the peace talk server. Nothing else. No hate camels, no grudges,
Yeah.
And I think it worked well enough, even though I had to play Bukkake Boy for a week. But I think that was effort well spent. And I think Red is in earnest if they are going to help with this.
The point here, and the reason I'm saying it, and they can deny it all they want to, is that a bunch of crybabies said, well, Kirk shouldn't be allowed to talk in that channel, and other people who aren't Commodores. So what did I do? I stopped talking in that channel. If I wanted to say anything, I would screenshot it and I would put it in there. But here's the thing. This is how we know they're all full of shit. It wasn't good enough. They still had to go start another server. Guess what? People stopped talking. You say, hey, we don't think people should start talking there. I was like, well, you're a whiny bitch, but you make a point. So we're going to stay out of there. And we stayed out of there, but it still wasn't good enough. And that's what I'm saying. It's all bullshit. Everything they say is a lie. They're all full of shit. They're just so hateful that they're trying to do anything they can. They're going to point the finger any direction they want to. And that's what I'm saying. The evidence is that you say it's because of this reason. Well, guess what? It became a moot point because that reason no longer exists. So what is the point in continuing on doing that? So that's my point. It's just you're always going to find a reason. If you're always looking for a reason, you're going to find one. So
yeah, but at the same time, there's also other scenarios too you got to look at. I mean, Boom and Tolstoy can tell you this, that my alliance has been at war with him 2 years plus, and we're good with it. And the thing is, honestly, I don't think either of us know anymore if we would be so freaking bored if we actually went to terms, because literally they would have no fun. Our guys would have no fun. It would be boring as hell. To be honest.
Right, but that's not the same scenario. Like they're talking, they wanted to have.
No, that's a bit non sequitur as far as this goes. The point I'm making is that if you're constantly looking for a reason, you're going to find that reason. So,
they're whinging.
The objective is, let me finish. If the objective is to talk about it, okay, you state, hey, we have a problem with this. Okay, we fixed that. Now that we fixed that, now we can move on to the issues that we're going to discuss. Oh, well, we just now found another reason. See, here's the thing. I was a negotiations team leader, right? As a cop, I ran the negotiations team. I had people working for me. This is what I did, certified negotiator, right? So when someone constantly does that, they don't want to negotiate. It's a stall tactic. It's to come up with the next reason for why it's not going to work. It's what it is. And this is studied heavily, papers written, articles written, books written, studying materials, certifications, all based around the science of how the human brain works, especially in those situations. And it's a textbook example. So they think they're being clever, but me and people like me, we can see right through it. But when we call them on their bullshit, they get super butthurt because they're upset that their tactic didn't work, and that's all it is. They're gonna keep finding a reason why there's a problem with whatever is going on, because at the end of the day, that's what they do. It's a blame game. And are the people from Nona entirely innocent? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've said it once. I'll say it before. Inko
Fuck you.
is an asshole. So, and that's fine. Handy, he does his best, but unfortunately, because there's so many moving parts, sometimes he can't really say for certain one thing or another, and it pisses people off because honestly, at that point, it might be something that's up in the air. So Handy's generally very careful. I think Gary the Hate Camel said that Handy talks like a lawyer, where he never speaks in absolutes or something. I think that was the thing. I was dying laughing when I read that. And that's okay. But the one thing I will say is that at least as far as I know, and I see a lot, because surprise, surprise, I am one of the admins of this server. So there's nothing that goes on in any channel in this server that I can't see. I can't block myself from any channel. But the one thing that I can say is that both of them seem to be consistent in what they're saying. And if something does change, they seem to admit that something changed, or they changed their mind based on new information presented to them. But for everyone else, it's just this back and forth. It's like, well, this is bad. You can't do that. And then you go, well, you guys did it. Oh, well, see, that's because you did it. And then you say, well, no, you did that before us. Oh, well, see, there was this time that you guys actually did it. I just don't have the screenshots right now. So, anyway, I'm done with my hate-fueled rant.
That part of that goes back to something that I mentioned and I have observed about your server, that it seems that you guys do not forget anything ever. And it will be screenshotted and referenced,
and no one can
2 years from now.
Mind. Like, no one can change their mind at all. That's the world, but that's the world we live in. You know, you have somebody that was like 21 years old and they said some off-color shit about, a minority group or something, and then they're in their 40s and they're like, I was a dickhead back then. I said some real dumb shit. I'm not proud of myself, but, I've grown up and I understand what I said was wrong or what I did was wrong, blah, 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 blah. But still, somebody'd be like, remember that one time 1,000 years ago when you said this word? You're horrible and you need to die. And that's the same thing that's going on here.
Recently, like John Gruden getting fired.
Everything that's going on in the world today, that's what it is. People can't change their minds anymore. I used to be a typical, like Bible thumping conservative, datur-dadur fucking idiot. And then guess what? I grew up. I experienced some things, and now and stuff. Person socially, I'm extremely liberal now, whereas 10, 15 years ago, I would have been considered extremely conservative. So, but if somebody were to find something that I said or wrote back then, God, they would use it now as if that's the same person I am, and that's the problem that we're having, and I think that's the point that you're making, Boom.
Yeah. Yes. There's no acceptance of the idea that people's opinions, view on things can change, and that includes the game. Like when a lot of us first started playing the game, especially like when the servers opened. So like when our server opened, people were just kind of doing whatever because there was no real understood or agreed upon way to act or certain, and as you evolve and develop the server, like people kind of come to, oh, okay, we're not going to do this, certain collective agreements and the same principle applies. Like as people are playing and as things change and develop, like who you were as a player a year and a half ago for any given individual is different than who you are today. And the fact that you keep on dragging up shit that happened a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
At some point you have to let that fucking go. Yeah. And just, okay, let's deal in the now and the near term. Because, okay, yeah, if it's something that they did 2 weeks ago, sure. They probably haven't changed since then. But even then, you have to give a little bit of a chance. But have, if you're still dragging up shit from that long ago, you're not having an earnest discussion about coming to any kind of terms for now.
Well, I would also argue that if it's something that happened back in the day, that's a pattern that shows consistency in action and behavior, then maybe, like if it's like, for example, we used this example before, but if someone has a habit of getting a little too lost in the sauce and starting shit, and there's a pattern of this behavior, every time this person does something, when they hop on a voice chat, he's flying like this, fuck this guy. Well, clearly he's inebriated, right? So if this is a pattern and somebody brings it up, and in that situation, I can't see where you can be like, oh my god, like how could you? Well, of course we're gonna bring it up. It shows a pattern of behavior, but yeah, if it's something completely different, you gotta fucking let it go.
Well, but even in that case, like, okay, if that was a pattern consistently at the beginning, like every week, month, whatever, but then 2 years ago it stopped and it hasn't happened since, you can kind of accept that, okay, there's a likelihood of a change there. If that's a still occurring pattern, if you can reference something where it happened just, a few weeks, a month, 2 months ago, then it's ongoing. And so it doesn't matter that it started 2 years ago. We can still reference, more current occurrences. Shit, fucking my brain's dying on me.
I'm going to have to ask that you guys stop making common sense because it's not really applicable to our gameplay. Thank you.
Wait, what's common sense?
You wouldn't know.
Look, a lot of our players on our server change. It's like what ends up happening is people do silly shit, they get called on their bullshit, and then we all talk about it. And a lot of the people on our server have changed their ways. Most of them have not, but quite a few have.
Some really have,
and
yes.
It's okay. Look, like, you don't need to bring shit up that somebody did 2 years ago. Like, who gives a shit anymore? Nobody cares. Drop it. Let it go. Like, the whole idea of us talking to each other is to try and affect some change. And when that change happens, it's like some people aren't satisfied. Like, they don't care about the change. They just want to put out their bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
Handy
Mud, for
goes
example.
try to justify his fucking fat shaming again.
Well, it's like Mud, for example. Like, he's actually shut up recently. Like,
yeah,
for the most part. I mean,
yeah,
he still talks in Discord and whatnot, but they're usually, well put together thoughts and not just blah blah. And it's just what it is. It's a reality. Like, people need to get over it. If Mud changes his ways, that's great. Stop complaining. Stop picking on Mud. If he wants to change, that's great. It's a good thing for the server. So let the guy fucking change. Don't just keep calling him an asshole and a troll if he's actually trying to change it. Let's give him an opportunity to try and change.
Absolutely.
But, if you keep poking at somebody, what I'm trying to say is that for shit they did in the past, you're
going to push them to return to that behavior.
Correct. Yeah. There's no incentive to stop the behavior if all you're going to do is keep bringing up the old shit that they did. So,
Or
if
a remedy
not
is
something, let it go.
Or a remedy is, as Kirk said, start your own Discord server echo chamber. Go there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, we definitely don't want that here. But at the same time, you got us fucked up if you think that the server that we fucking own, we're not going to be voicing our opinions in. I mean, you're a moron if you think that's the case. I mean, I'm going to say what I want to say anywhere I want to say it. Now, when we get going and Madam Stargazer has to jump in and tell everybody to chill out, then okay, well, we're going to go ahead and take a step back because that's a check right there for us. We have that's our check that's in place, and it balances everything out to kind of give somebody, some power over us to tell us that we need to calm down. Otherwise, what's the point? You could there's no point in having moderators if you could just overrule everything they say.
Well, and like Darius was saying earlier, I definitely give you guys kudos for, just the way that you actually asked for moderators and specifically said we prefer not people from these servers because there's too much emotional masturbation going on. I thought that was very mature, to be honest.
That's why I chose Madam Stargazer. She's extremely active, and very observant, very mature, and she's from server 66. So, myself, Tech, and Handy are from 34, and Boom's from 45. So now you have someone who's not even from our server. So our day-to-day interactions, it doesn't happen. We don't see each other floating through space or during events or in AC or GC or anything like that. So, that's why we did it. And then that's why we gave her the final say-so as far as who is here in the server. I mean, we don't. Obviously, I might go into the ref channel and say, suggest, hey, maybe you need to check this out or we should look into this. But at the end of the day, if she says what you say is okay, well, then that's okay. If she tells you what you say is not okay, then shut the hell up. Don't say it anymore. Don't say any more of that stuff. And that goes for any of the moderators. If you have an issue with something a moderator says, you can appeal it to her. But I mean, if she says nah, everything's cool, well, that's it. I mean, you can either just get on with it, or you can get glad in the same pants you got mad in, or you can go ahead and click the leave button. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. So,
and then you can come back, as you so often do.
Maybe. I'll
I
tell you
would
right
really
now.
like to know how many times Mud has left the Trek Talk server and come back, though.
At least 5. I have all the messages come to my inbox. I wish I knew how to share it with people.
It'd be
think,
surely there's a tool or an add-on out there somewhere that has a counter that would be entertaining. It was brought up.
we I have we use JagerBot because it is a good bot, and JagerBot tells you when people leave and come back.
It's awesome.
So I'm looking here. I'm going back a little bit.
Who's this Mud guy?
It's the Klingon queen of our server.
Oh, okay.
So
not that bad mentally, but
like for example, so for example, it's on 316, 633.52, Lethal Weapon just joined Trek Talk. 635.08, Lethal Weapon just left Trek Talk. And then you scroll on down, and you've got 316.22, 1742, Lethal Weapon just joined Trek Talk. At 21:53, just left Trek Talk. And then the next day at 9:01, just joined Trek Talk. And then at 18:11, just left Trek Talk.
What is the point? Come on.
He might have maxed his discords and was juggling.
I doubt it.
No, that's not what happened at all. He was like, fuck this Discord, and then he left.
I was giving him a benefit of a doubt.
No, there's no.
No, he don't get shit.
I'm going home.
He don't get shit. I will tell you that Madam Stargazer is getting real sick and tired of you people leaving and coming back. So don't be surprised if you go to leave and then try to come back if you're not banned. She's sick of it.
Pop in, say a couple
I
things,
just
and leave.
I just find it infinitely amusing.
We're here for you. Like, we just want you to have
And
fun.
another thing.
It's just like that meme, like, fuck you and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it's hilarious, but fuck, what are you gonna do, man?
I did find it funny though when I posted my my summary of scrolling through God knows how many messages in the Diplo channel. As soon as I posted my summary, I can't remember who, but somebody is like, it's like, how can you claim to be a neutral server when you got people like Kirk, who's part of Nona, and Tech, who doesn't even play the game, allowed to be posted in that channel? I'm like, I was just posting a summary, dude, for other people, so other people know what the fuck's going on.
Well, that's just anger. That's anger, and that's what Has anybody here ever watched the Santa Claus? The original one, Tim Allen.
Ooh, it's great.
When he fucking and he goes, it makes me just want to lash out irrationally. And that's where there comes from. So lashing out irrationally. That's what it is. You get so mad that you start looking for shit, looking for reasons to be upset. It's like Raz the other day with his bullshit. He gets all pissed off and he's like, you hate me because I'm black. And I'm like, what? Oh my God. Like, that's the one you go to?
It's from somebody that claims they're going to go rape people's wives after the war and demeans women constantly and got kicked from his alliance because of that kind of behavior. So anything that fool says is automatically complete garbage.
He got kicked from Dark?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Well, Phoenix kicked him because apparently he's the only decent one left over there. And then he decided to come to know when he got criticized for being a good stand-up person.
Yeah, not to kick a dead horse. The motherfucker's banned. He can't come and defend himself. But I mean, not like I care. But just that type of behavior. You have to look. You have to think about, where does it come from? Why is someone doing that? Why are they so angry? And honestly, it has nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with them, and it's something else. There's something else going on. There's something else going on in their lives, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just that you have become the outlet for their anger. So the anger that's being directed at you and the hateful things, it's not really about you. It's about something else, but this is how they're able to channel their anger and get it out. It's not a healthy way, definitely not the best way, but that's how they do it. And I think we're all guilty of it. Everybody's been guilty of it. When you're kind of having a bad day and your husband or your wife or one of your kids, comes up and does something and you're like, what? You kind of snap at them. You're not angry at them. You're angry at something else. But for these people, it's a special case. And it's not everybody from Dark. It's not everybody from MBD. It's not necessarily like one whole group. It's just people that respond in that fashion. And I do think it is important to keep that in mind, because that'll help you prevent you from escalating it any further, to contribute to the escalation of events. Fuck this server.
Have it burn. Have it burn.
So I'm guessing you're on 34 as well, Kirk.
Unfortunately, yes, he is.
I'm telling you, if Scopely ever releases a Prime Pack to move servers, you fuckers, you dying. That's the last you'll see of me. It'll be like me and 2 other fucking people on the server, and we'll just mine.
There's no fun in that.
I'll have more G4 resources stockpiled than you guys have tritanium. I'll just fucking mine.
That's a lot of mining.
It's a lot of mining, isn't it?
I'll take territory captures will consist of
a lot
me
of
and one other
tritanium.
person duking it out over for territory.
Chasing each other around the map.
Yeah, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
It'll be 2 Max Vidars going from place to place.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have your speed crews on chasing, like somebody's got to get that one kill, so they get that one extra tick of the point on the minute. Yeah, no, I think that would be kind of entertaining in its own weird way.
Oh, if we could get somebody to fucking agree to it, I think it'd be epic if territory battles could just be settled by 2 people.
It would, like, to return to an actual conversation we were having earlier. I think TC is ripe for some changing, to give you like options, of previous to the actual TC, rather than just clicking a join button. There is some ability, like if it's a contested territory, to join but only allow the other server some type of, or the other alliance some type of vote, some type of something. Like, it would make it, I think, vastly more entertaining.
Envoys only.
Envoys
Yeah.
only. I mean, that would be really entertaining, I think.
Divorce at dawn.
Divorce at dawn.
And none of that Fisha shit.
Oh, dude,
Oh.
don't knock the battle beetle.
The battle be who the fuck has an 8.3 million fucking Devore Fisha? This asshole does.
Well, I mean, there was an event.
Throw
Wait.
throw Curran on there. You at least get a first round shot kinetic.
I don't. Does it have a kinetic weapon? I can't even remember.
I have
They
no
just-
idea what weapon it
They
has.
open the
It's-
they open the cargo bay and throw gold bars at you.
Yeah, the Phoenicia has a kinetic weapon on it.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, like I don't
Excellent.
even care about that ship.
It can take down heavy traders, I guess. 8.3 million.
But yeah, that kind of thing I do think could be interesting. Something to change it up. The reason that I asked about just like ideas for the game is because the game itself is so basic in terms of okay, you go collect or you go kill something, and the events are just whatever Scopely released.
Guys, why the fuck do we even still play this game? We're all sitting here crying about this fucking game. Why do we even still play it? There's literally a whole podcast.
No.
Do you know how many hours we've put in to crying about this game? Why the fuck are we even here? Like,
Well,
that'd be like
we're
that'd be
here
like having
because
a
of the
car.
social aspect. We're here. It's not for the game. It would be like driving a fucking or an old Volkswagen bus or something, and you don't drive it because that's a pimp ride. You drive it because you can fit more of your friends in the back, and that's the same fucking principle.
Dude,
we're
you know
here
what?
for
This
the
is-
social.
This game is like an old 1 a.m. AOL chat room with ships.
Sorry,
Or-
that's
or-
a blast from the
or-
past.
Or you could AMC Gremlin it, boom, but same thing.
You've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
hate mail.
Dude, I tell you, I still don't understand why I keep coming back to this game. I took like 2 weeks and I didn't really play the game much. I was logging on here and there, doing some events, but it was nice. And now I'm back to playing the game, and I don't know why.
Well, addiction. That's like asking an alcoholic why are they drinking again when they know it's so bad for them.
It's
Well,
the money. It's the money that I've spent is actually truly what it is. That's the only thing. Because at this point, the people that I've made have relationships with, and I speak to, like Handy, Tech, Boom, I think is one of the few I don't have their number. Inco, a bunch of other people. We have each other's fucking phone numbers. I can just call the motherfucker. Hey man, what's up? What's going on? I can still be social, right? But for some reason,
Right.
I got to think about it. It's because of the amount of money that I spent. I don't want to give it up.
Well,
For me-
that's part of it too. At this point, there's a little bit of the same for me. Like, okay, let's justify some of the investment, but also even on the social aspect. Maybe it's different for you. For me, like, there's people in game that I talk to that I wouldn't necessarily have their number or talk to them outside of the game, but it's still enjoyable. Like, so I still like socializing in the game to a degree. And I'm one of those crazy people that still has certain hopes for the game because I look at things like, so the way that they do events, they clearly have just a choose and select kind of menu for how they come up with this shit. Like, okay, they must, what do they need to do? They select kill and then hostiles, and then maybe they'll say level 30 blah or above. What are they gonna get? Blah, and they punch it in there. Well, so one of the things that I put into the suggestions is why not, because different people like doing different shit, why not let alliances do that kind of for themselves? Like, and they can buy into packs that so Scopely doesn't want to give away extra resources, but if you let your alliance buy in the packs that get rewarded for whoever wins your custom alliance, whatever event that you come up with, which again is as simple as just selecting like, okay, as my alliance, we're gonna fucking mine or we're gonna grind, and then it could be reds, it could be hostels, what the fuck ever. But and then people pay in, and a couple winners, get a pooled resource. I feel like Scopely would actually get some more money doing that, and I think that it would allow you to actually do shit a little more dynamically in your alliance. Stuff like that, stuff like redoing territory capture, because as it is today, it's a shit show. I don't know. I still hold out some hope for the game itself. But a lot of it, for me, at least for today, right now, is really just the social aspect.
I mean, territory capture for me, Boom, for example, the only reason that, and I'm glad you mentioned it, that I don't even want to even be involved in it usually, is because
you can't win.
No, it's because you flood a system that you can't get people in after a point. Honestly, it should be, hey, who bought in? You know what I mean? And that's who can fight for it. That bottom line. And if you're defending it, obviously. But when you flood a system with 300 ships and you can't even get in the damn system, there's no point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think a lot of that stuff is just so broken. But the thing is that the problem that we have, and I guess this comes full circle to game suggestions. The problem that we have as a community is that we can't. It's the game is designed in such a way to appeal to addiction. So pretty much everybody that's into this game that is spending heavy or has spent any decent amount of money probably has at some point an issue with addiction. I don't mean like they've been a dope head or something like that, but it's easy for them to get sucked into something. Like for me, for example, I'm addicted to the gym because I replaced that with with alcoholism when I was an alcoholic back in the day. I replaced that addiction with another, right? And I'm sure anybody with ADHD, especially impulsive addictive behavior, I'm sure Inko, you probably have, you get addicted to things like the games and things like that.
Wait, what are we talking about? Squirrel?
Put your dick down and listen. So we're talking about this game
You're no
and how it's
fun.
designed. I'm very fun. This game is designed to appeal to our addictive personalities.
100%.
Oh yeah,
And
I had to have a talk with one of my players the other day because he was finding himself pretty much playing out of 24 hours. He literally was going off and on. I said, dude, I remember back when I was a big time gamer and I used to get to the point where I was having dreams and bad dreams at that of, the video game I had played for 18 hours or something back when I was way younger. And it's like, and he just took a 3-day sabbatical, not even touching anything, because I told him, I put him in perspective and he's like, yeah, dude, you're right. Because it will mess with you. Like I told him, I said, here's the deal is, because he was asking me why I wouldn't put the game on my computer. And I said, here's the deal is I put it on my iPad. When my iPad runs out of battery, I plug that fucker in and I drop it down. I don't play the game anymore at that point. I'm shielded and, done for a while until it's 100% again. Just to give me a mental break.
Well, want to watch. Hold on. I'm replying to Madam Stargazer. I'm telling her that she just wants to watch sparkly men. Anyway, so what I was saying was coming back to full circle for
the
with
fuck
the
is
game,
a sparkly man?
Because she was talking about wanting to watch Twilight.
I know.
What?
And so
why the
anyway,
fucking
guys, I need you to shut the fuck up. I'm mentally ill, and I will lose my train of thought. So I need you to stop. Coming back full circle to the shit I was talking about with the addiction is that's what it is. It's designed for that, and these mobile games are, and because of that, we kind of fall victim to it. The point I was getting at is that the problem we have as a community is that obviously we bitch a lot, we complain a lot, but because of our addictive personalities, we can't put it down. We can't do like some of the other players that have done and suggested that everybody put the game down for 30 days. let them watch a huge dip in funds, and maybe that will go, oh shit, they have more power than we suspected. Maybe we should start sort of compromising with them and start listening to them. We don't possess that ability. So we'll sit here and bitch all we want, but as we're doing it, some people, and I've watched it happen, as we're sitting here complaining about it, I'm watching Alliance gifts pop up because they're buying packs as we're all complaining about it in a voice chat or whatever. So we don't possess the capability to do that, any sort of protest. And Whiskey Woman makes a good point. Maybe it is an addiction, but people's lack of belonging and needing a group of friends. Either way you cut it, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But either way you cut it, it's still some sort of a mental illness. And I say that with all the love in the world because I do suffer from mental illnesses. So
I mean, by that count, Kirk. I mean, we all have mental illnesses. Every human being on the planet, in some way, shape, can probably be diagnosed with some.
I can stop anytime I want.
I learned by watching you, Dad.
Don't touch my game.
No, it is true, but at the same time, I've never, and I've been. And here's the thing, I've been in a lot of different gaming communities. Halo, this one obviously, Fallout, Skyrim, games like that, like the Bethesda, Obsidian type games. And of all of them, I have not met so many people that suffer from generalized anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, any sort of anxiety disorder, anything like that would cause anxiety. As I have it in this game, I swear, it seems like every other person I come in contact with, you actually sat down and have a sort of a conversation with them. They reveal to you that they have some sort of disorder that causes some sort of anxiety or makes you prone to anxiety.
North America, I think probably everybody has anxiety.
Well, yeah. Well, no.
I mean, this country, our country is a rat race.
Well, everyone having everybody can be anxious, but actually having an anxiety disorder, I can tell you, it's extremely crippling.
I can also tell you that not everybody in this channel right now listening is also from the United States. So
there's something to be said for that.
Right. And I mean, even like with my alliance, for example, a lot of them are not from the United States. A lot of them are Canadian or South America or cross seas. I mean, so
Canada ain't all that different from the U.S., but
yes
they are.
No. Yes and no. Points of view on certain things. But yeah.
But it's interesting.
Apparently Tim Hortons is supposedly great coffee.
That's what I keep hearing.
I haven't had any. I've heard it's great coffee.
But
back to the
subject.
Back to the subject. Improve on.
So that's what I was saying. As far as what Scopely can improve on, is they need to listen to us, but we don't make it beneficial for them to listen to us, because for as much bitching as we do, they're not seeing a dip in numbers. So that's the point I'm making. It's not necessarily a suggestion for Scopely; it's a suggestion for the players.
The more we bitch, the more we spend.
The more you bitch, the more you spend. Because here's the thing: you're going to bitch about it, but then some new officer that really isn't going to change the game much at all is going to come out, and you're going to drop $200 on it, and then you're going to drop another $1,000 to try to win the top slot for the auction. So maybe think about that type of stuff. But the fear is that I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to miss out on this officer. I want to be in the club because a bunch of other people are going to have the officer, and I want to have the officer too, or I want to get the ship the quickest, and blah, 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 blah. Now, if you're somebody like Inco, and you make more than what I've spent on this entire game ever in 1 hour of a surgery, then, yeah, I mean, sure, obviously Inco can do whatever he wants to. But for those of us that are mere mortals, maybe it's time to think about.
That's dangerous. Inco's head's quite big enough.
Yeah, and surgery actually doesn't make you that much money. I'll just put it out there. But
yeah, well,
realize,
make more
but
money than I do.
well, you'd be surprised. But I mean, the other facet of it is to realize there is a, make your mind blank, meaningless, button clicking that is satisfying, particularly for those of us with really bad ADHD, where
Yeah.
it gives you something to do and it entertains your mind, so that you don't
Yep.
just sit there and get bored, and
Yeah, or start losing your mind because you start thinking about random shit too much.
yep. But I mean,
So-
that's why, again, the game for me, obviously, just like everybody has said, social aspect, I think, is number one, no question. But, that's why I'm a grinder. I mean, it gives me lots to do, lots of buttons, there's tactile stuff. It's the whole 9 yards that just kind of keeps your mind entertained so you don't just get fucking goofy. That's what the game really is.
And you know what? Now that I think about that, maybe that's another reason why I stay in the game, because it is, for those of us who have ADHD, where our brains process shit at a much faster rate than everybody else, being busy or having something to focus on, to think about, to fixate on is good. It allows your brain to sort of do one thing, and it actually helps you not really slow down, but it helps kind of quiet the other questions and thoughts that are running through your head. So since I stopped spending money, my game experience has gotten better. Why is that? Because I am now forced to do more. So a lot of things that I can't really skip out on. I still do based on time, because I do have to weigh how much time I have in real life versus how much time can I devote to the game. But like, for example, I used to never do Swarm because I was like, man, I'm spending money. I don't need to trade in biominerals or anything like that. Like, I'm getting officer shards. I'm spending all this money. It's fine. But like, now that I'm not spending money, I'm doing stuff like Swarm and Borg and, mining data for extra shit for the directives for the rogue and stuff like that. So I will say that if you go to more of a, I'm not going to say free to play, because I still do the battle pass, but I honestly feel like at this point, if you only buy the battle pass and you were to say to me, I'm free to play, I would feel comfortable in agreeing with you at this point, because it's just so prevalent. But I would argue that if you were to try that for even a week or 2 weeks, give it 2 weeks, and play that, let some of those resources run out that you've actually spent money on, I would be willing to bet that your game experience would improve as well. You would start to feel better about the achievements. Like when I got my Valdor, I got my Valdor completely free. I rode that wave for like a week. I was so excited. I got it for free. I didn't spend a single dime on it. So anyway, I would challenge you to do that.
100% agree on that statement, by the way, Kirk. We have players that are actually the way they're grinding stuff and whatnot. They want to be free to play. I have one, for example, who he refuses to even buy the battle pass, and he wants his goal is to hit level 40 without spending a dime. It's not
we
that
have somebody that did that.
Yeah, he's not. It's not that he can't. It's that he wants to prove himself a point. I get it. It could be faster if he bought the battle pass and spent the $20 a month. I get it, but at the same time, hey, it's how he wants to do it. That's how he wants to do it. You know what? I'm not going to tell him how to play his game.
And it has to. It also depends a lot. This game depends a lot on what your idea of winning is. A lot of people, before they came out with the amalgam and completely threw off the leaderboard, their idea of winning was being number one on resources rated. They wanted to be number one. And that's fine. That's a form of winning. Having the highest kill death ratio, that's a form of winning. Having the biggest ships is a form of winning. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. So the interesting thing about this game is that you can't you can't hold anyone to your standards. You know what I mean? Like your standards are your standards. So if you say, oh, well, having the biggest ship is winning, and this other person's like, that's cool, I don't really care about that. My idea of winning is getting my next ship free to play. That's a win for me. Well,
Right.
that's
Right.
how it works.
I'm gonna intercept Boom on here because I know what he's about to say. It's that power destroyed means shit and resources rated. That yes, it means very active and whatnot, but yeah, power destroyed means nothing.
It doesn't.
No, what I was gonna say is closer to what Kirk ended up kind of saying, but how you enjoy your game is really up to you. And
yeah,
for one person, it might be PD. For another, it might just be, they really want to hit a rep point by only grinding blah. Like it really doesn't matter what gets your rocks off. It's what you fucking enjoy, and as long as you're happy doing it, go do
Correct.
it. Like if it's resources rated, if it's power destroyed, if it's just flat power, whatever you care about, go do your thing.
Right. And like I said, I guess I'll backtrack a little bit there, Boom, because I didn't mean to. I guess I interrupted it beforehand, but yeah, you got where I was coming from. Is power destroyed means really nothing because it's not a very good metric for anything, even though people look at it. It is a leaderboard.
Yes, it's only a good metric depending on like all things being equal. Like if someone's running around just blowing up every miner under the sun, they're gonna have a high PD just because they're killing everything always. But that's not comparative to someone who's playing under ROE, that sort of thing. So it can give you a degree of information, but yeah, it's not the end all be all.
Right.
But same with resources rated, because some people just don't care enough. Like they may be a great player, but they're just not gonna sit there and click back and forth, a million times on a base. That's just not their thing. More power to them as well. So. None of the leaderboards really are indicative of anything more than, that's what that leaderboard is.
That's one of the things that we've brought it up here before. And again, if we're going along the theme of suggestions for Scopely, why are we still stuck with these 3 leaderboards? Like it just makes no sense.
I was actually just about to say the same exact thing.
We have, because they track everything else. I mean, it's on your player tab. So why don't you have, just post? I mean, how cut and paste, coding is it to apply that to a new leaderboard? Do it for Alliance Helps. Do it for, I don't fucking care.
So I think the reason, like if you're honestly asking, my interpretation is the reason that they choose those ones is because they are PvP oriented specifically. There are a couple other ones you could do, like kill death ratio, but in general, resources rated and power destroyed are PvP centric, and Scopely still understands fundamentally that if they can get people fighting, they'll make a little bit more profit. It's human nature to be like, fuck you, I'm gonna beat you, screw it, I'll drop an extra $300 to tier X ship or whatever. And Scopely wants this to be a PvP game, even if they are fucking atrocious at actually making PvP centric events.
Right, but like my point is like, okay, like looking at the leaderboard right now, and this is not bragging for you or us, Boom. Like you guys are number 1 on the board for resources rated. We're number 4 on the leaderboard. Power destroyed. Ironically, UMAD's in number 1. I don't know why, with their 24 players.
Activated, dude.
And we're number 2.
Well, remember
remember
power destroyed as an alliance gets all jacked up because if you leave the alliance for any reason, it subtracts everything and it restarts. So that one doesn't actually work very well.
It's completely fucked up. We would be number 1 easily.
BE's number 3 right now. We're number 2. UMAD's number 1. And then looking at power. Yeah, I know you guys rock it. I am not worried about it because I'm going to tell you, you guys know you you think you're king, or well, you kind of are kings of the server. We get it. You got the power. Okay, yay. We're still going to be at war regardless. We're at number 13 on the server as far as goes power. But honestly, if you look at these metrics, they really don't mean shit, to be honest. I mean, power I get, sort of, but resources rated and power destroyed really are garbage metrics, if you ask me.
The one
they,
thing that
they kind of are, especially for alliances.
Well, for alliances, definitely the PD is. It has been interesting, at least for us, being in war now for the past couple of months, of seeing, we have a player in our alliance who used to be a very active, minor killer and was top on PD for ages. And recently one of our players is now number one on PD, having been in war for a while, because now bigger ships, obviously, are giving you more PD. So, he's actually taken over number one because he is arguably one of our most active players in a war scenario. So that's kind of been interesting,
Right, but my thoughts are is maybe they come up with a PvP ratio and it not involve any mining ships that are mining actively.
Well, I mean, if
that's
you
too
go
easy.
back on there was a post that not to. So Cole did a whole thing about when he popped up to the number one on PD, and I kind of did a little analysis on the quality of his kills. I'm sorry, I'm at the office. 1 second.
Stupid office.
All right. Anybody
Why
got
are you in
anything
the
else?
office on a Sunday? Holy shit, that sucks.
My office is in my guest
Sorry,
bedroom.
tax accountant. So tax season. So I'm here.
Yep, that'll do it.
Anyway, so what I was saying is, if you look at one, it's not particularly like precise, but if you look at the number of kills someone's done and compare it against the power that their power destroyed, you can kind of see, you can get a general idea on the actual power of the ships that they're killing. So you can see if it's sitting in the 200,000 range, there's probably a whole lot of like miners built in there, or if it's in the average power is 50,000, and you have to remember that power destroyed is 10% of actual power of ship power. So,
Correct. Well, and that's why I said the leaderboards are garbage for figuring it out.
Yeah, it would be cool if they had a leaderboard that actually was more analytical to the quality of the kills too. I think that would be interesting. Although
like
it would
more of
potentially favor whales because there is that factor of
Smash
they'd
the
have
board.
to they'd have to also normalize it against your power at the time of the kill or something to that degree.
But no, that's not what I was talking about. Is doing PvP ratio as a leaderboard.
So that still has the same issue. Like, okay, if I run out and blow up 500 miners, I have a 500, kills, 0 deaths. But if I go and fight 500 warships, even if I pull out my biggest ship versus other people using, their just middling G4 ships, I'm not gonna. 500 is a stretch to be able to kill without it blowing up my. So.
Right, boom. But I said it a little bit ago. I said mining ships don't count unless they're
okay.
Yeah, unless they're being used as warships, for example, like a North Star for a lower level or something like that. Like there's to be like
I could see that,
and that's what my point is. I mean,
it's a good point, but again, you're asking Scopely to do something that is going to take computational time programmer
Yeah.
time, that kind of thing, which, my point of just do all the stuff that is in your player tab, make all of that a leaderboard, give other players, I don't care who you are. Like if you decide, oh, I really want to rock Alliance Helps, like whatever floats your boat, like it would give people, some people something else that they would enjoy about the game, and it'd be free of charge.
Oh, we do that anyway, but
Yeah. Well, no,
it's-
Scopely putting it up there would be cool. I 100% agree. Although they would have to fix some of their other issues to begin with, because when you want to start looking at it as an alliance, like I fundamentally don't understand how they fucked up the Power Destroyed Alliance leaderboard so badly. But because for us, because we enforce rotations between our fleets, like all of our fleets show so significantly lower than if you actually added up the power destroyed for each member of the fleet.
yeah, but
Because if you did that, we're so far and away ahead of some of these other groups, it's laughable.
But it's
No,
befuddling, because realize they had to put in additional calculations or additional coding in order to make it do that, rather than simply add the fucking numbers in your player tab.
Yeah, but
I think the reason they did it is to prevent people from pumping up their own numbers artificially by like having somebody quit and then everybody just blows up their ship, whatever. But it's still dumb.
The thing I'm following up on the thought that I had about doing the PvP PvP ratio, not only for player but PvP per alliance is an interesting too, because just so you know who's being really aggressive, you know what I mean?
Well,
you may, and I'm not saying I know. For example, BE's not unaggressive by any means, but I'm saying, for example, it's interesting.
We're
For example,
yeah.
well, if you guys were be able to see,
It's sweet.
How often your players are doing for your PvP ratio, for example.
I mean, we know.
Well, no, but I'm you get what I mean, though.
Yeah,
no, I mean, we track it. We know.
We track it, but it is internal. I think Inco's what he was saying would still kind of cover some of that, because it would put things like the kill death and stuff. Like if Scopely just made all the things they track as visible in leaderboards, both individual and alliance. Yeah, I think that would be great. I think it would be fun to have things like look at the personal, help sent leaderboard and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
Because to some people that matters.
Yeah, it would give, like, again, free of charge to Scopely, because it's simple cut and paste. Free of charge,
Right.
They would actually add, I don't care if it's, let's say, 10 people that care about, KD or, help sent or whatever it is, whatever floats your boat. Free of charge, it would give some players an additional aspect of the game that they felt was important. I don't care what it is.
Correct.
Now, one other thing that I think that I've voiced this in our AC, but one other thing that I think that they should change is, honestly, like, they made a fantastic change with the refinery and the display. It's a huge quality of life improvement, at least in my view. And frankly, like, all of the other tabs, like the gifts section, like all of that should be treed out like that. And honestly, the refinery should be like have subtrees, but baby steps.
Yeah, that was something also that was stated by one of my members too. Is it should be all treed instead of it being on a billion different tabs.
I'm just tired of having to. Yeah, I'm tired of having to remember to go to certain different places for all the different things. I still forget Syndicate some days, which Syndicate
exactly where I
matters
was
to
going.
me. Yeah, Syndicate matters to me, and yet there'll be days where I'm like, "Fuck, I forgot that."
See, that's why you have to go ahead and max it out, because it makes that button not important anymore. It's glorious. It's freeing.
Are
it's
are
like,
you maxing?
oh yeah, I
Ah,
have been for a while.
okay. I'm close.
Yeah, it's there. That was 100% what I spent all the multiphasics on until it was maxed.
That's actually exactly what I've been doing too.
Yep, unquestionably. And
I
What
just
like I
what
said,
what
I
what
imagine you
level?
probably spend more multiphysics than I do. So.
yeah,
What
it's
what level are you, Syndicate? Out of curiosity, I'm free to play, so I'm gonna
it's
tell you, I'm
He's
not.
max, so it's 25.
25.
Oh,
And
is
I'm
it only
22.
goes? It only goes up to 25. I thought
Yep.
it went higher.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Not
haven't
yet,
added anything yet.
but as more people hit max, you can guarantee Scopely will add more.
Oh, they will. It's the same thing like they did with TC. Everybody thought, oh, we've got all our, doodads now. We can, fuck off in TC. Nope, they're going to open more, you know. But they're also going to, not give you credit for any of the additional rep that you gained, via events and all that garbage.
Well, of course. Speaking of, it's interesting they're giving those prime territory, whatever things from the new
The
is it
particles.
from the Treasury. Yeah, from the Treasury poll.
Yep.
So I feel like they're gonna add some more stuff again to the territory
Yep.
research.
But
Well,
at least we're actually getting a resource before what the
It's-
function comes out.
Well, not
So
o-
that's not bad.
Actually, now that you say that, it makes me wonder if maybe they never will add more stuff and it's just another red herring. Like, because I ground out so many data pads for those fucking assimilated.
Oh yeah,
and
the Nintendo controllers.
yeah, and what's that been useful for? Nothing.
Well, at least they did add, assimilated ships. Well, like because we talked about this, a year ago.
It's
like I was like banking on, they're going to open up more assimilated stuff, and it's actually going to be important because they made a research for it, they made a doodad for it, and I ground out a bunch of those goddamn things, and it's totally pointless.
So I look at it from a different standpoint with the Treasury of what they're trying to do. They're trying to actually do it to put things forward for free to play because they're trying to push again people to 40, and they need those researches to be able to even potentially even compete with people in that level because they spent the money or they achieved it earlier or whatever. Second thing is it's actually potentially the way that they're able to get enough players high enough to unlock the next level, because they're essentially giving you primes out of it, and whether you buy them out of the cash store now or if you buy them or get them in over time, at 40, potentially it pushes you up and gets those primes.
But remember, they've also already stated that the Treasury is going, when they actually release an event that lets you put stuff in the Treasury and whatever, in order to unlock it with a rod, is going
It's
to be
going to cost.
Yeah,
it is money.
Yeah, because let's be honest, if you're nearing or hit 40 or 40 plus as a generally free to play player, Scopely does not particularly care about you, except in that maybe you get a friend to join who will spend money.
Right. But the thing is you get the particles though at 40.
Yeah, but I mean, I can tell you.
And
first off,
you may sit at 40 for 3 years. Who knows how long it takes to get those particles at this point? Because nobody knows because the damn thing don't work.
No, you get the particles. It's 40. It's level 40 treasury building, which is going to take forever if you're just collecting the diodes free to play.
Correct.
And then once you get the treasury to 40, you get 8 particles a day. So, for example,
is that actually up there? I didn't see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my treasury at 45. So.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
So it's
good
8
to know.
particles a day. In order to get the prime, that's 1,000 particles. So you're looking at 150 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the number of particles does not change after that. So whether your treasury is 41 or 50 or 60.
Yep.
That
but
stays
here,
constant.
but the argument is Scopely will say, "Hey, we gave you a free to play path."
Of course. Yeah, I mean that's of course what it is, and I mean, frankly, like the prime capture node damage I mean, I know you can use the particles on the other ones as well, but for example, I never bought prime capture node damage because it's absolute trash. I mean, 100%, like it just wasn't going to make much of a difference in any sort of TC function. When you compare to all of the other damage that you already do.
Right.
But,
well, and it's the same. It falls under the same premise, though, of something I told one of my players today, because he was worried about and he's a lower level, mind you, and whatnot. I said, you've got to weigh out what you spend your stuff on, because like on his Bortus, he's like a level 28, I believe. I go, he's wanting to spend some of his resources on this Bortus. I said, okay, here's the thing though, weigh it out, because crew and researches are more important than your ships. Get the first two up first, because yeah, you can spend a bunch of resources on like a ship, but it's going to last you X amount of levels. Researches are forever. Crew is forever. Or am I wrong in that statement?
No.
Well, your crew is forever. How important that crew member is may wax or wane over time.
Yeah.
I would like to make a quick segue to bitch about Threat from Beyond. This is only going to take a moment, but the fact that I just had to grind the fuck out of these stupid swarms for a cross-server leaderboard, and then they're like, "Hey,
You
guess
did
what?
it?
Now, oh yeah, I want to fucking win. Hey, eat a dick. I like to win."
No,
And then these motherfuckers
that
are like,
cracks me
"Okay, now Threat from Beyond."
Hey,
Fuck
boom,
you, Scopely.
Well,
boom. We should have a sidebar on that one of these days here about that.
That was so. Our cross server is what is it, 31, where Tiberius is in. So we battled for the first cross server board, and so we're messaging back and forth about it and blah blah blah. So when this last one popped up, I messaged him right off the bat and I go, "It's all you, bro." Like, fuck this noise. I still have a 0, or is it over? I don't know.
Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna
It did end. I went big.
God bless you.
I'll throw this out for you, boom, and I'll throw this because Tolstoy's listening. And here's the deal: is like with cross server, things. If it's alliance based, I am definitely not asking to go for a ceasefire on anything. But if it's in specific systems for things like Swarm or Borg, if we can come to some kind of terms with just figuring that out, just to represent 45 versus whoever we're against. Hey, it's up. That's up to you. I'm throwing it out there. I'm being honest.
I don't care about server 45 more than crushing. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, y'all are going to make just a small impact anyway, so.
Shots fired.
You'll be surprised on that.
All right.
I'm looking at my bracket. I do not see Sin in here anywhere.
There's multiple brackets, jackass. That's why I ask.
I'm aware. That's clue into the joke, jackass. Come on.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the invite up. I appreciate it.
Giga. I figured you had your hand up for a while. We let you come up.
Hey, Giga, what's going on, bro?
I forget to even look at that. The hand up thing.
I forget too.
I lost a member today because he's being hunted in a personal war. So I sent him live long and prosper and a beer sign, because I feel bad for the guy. Oh well.
Send him real beer.
Yeah,
I will. Amazon. Yep. I've been having
And
fun. We have 36 members now. I've been growing.
Good.
hey, boom, on the lower level, by the way, leaderboard, I know we had number 1 and 2 on the cross server. And on the mid-range level, we also had number 1 and 2. You guys are just way higher than us. That's all.
I mean,
But
God
those are the
bless you.
leaderboards that matter.
God bless you for actually killing swarm and worms. Like,
I didn't kill a single worm. But
Hey,
I
I don't
do it
care one way or
because
another. I don't care one way or another, but
uh,
hey, I'm throwing it out there because a couple of my members asked about it. And I'm throwing it out there. So
I overdid it because if you add number 2, 3, and 4 together and half of number 5, I still outpaced them. It's
yeah, well,
probably
I want.
excessive.
I mean, I'll do that for like the cow event, but I ain't doing it for fucking worms and swarm.
Moo.
Yeah, fuck
oh
that.
no, we kill cow every time anyway. So
Depends on your definition of kill, but I mean,
no, we get we take care of it. Literally, we're done like first day.
no. I mean, doing your alliance thing is one thing. I mean, we're talking about the overall leaderboard, which, by the way, it goes away when you go 60. I don't.
What?
Yeah,
What?
What?
yeah. The last cow, I did not have an individual or an alliance cow. Like the overall leaderboard was not there anymore.
Strange.
Really?
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, because we're 75, and it's like I didn't notice that.
Nope. It went away.
That
Bye-bye.
sucks.
Eh.
Yeah,
It
it's
did
just
take away one of
more
it took away
more
one of those
evidence.
things that makes you fucking grind.
It's more evidence of Scopely not finishing the fucking game
Oh
before
yeah.
they release it.
Mm.
I have a question. Do you have any advice for somebody that's growing a fleet? Like, stay low profile, stay out of Galaxy chat, blah blah blah. You know,
What
Yes.
what's your average level on your
we're a bunch of
alliance?
35 and 29s.
And what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to grow this fleet as fast as it can go, like the fastest growing fleet in the game. You know, on my server
So,
at least.
well, first of all, you need to get those bonds with the people that you play with.
Yep.
That's really important.
Yeah, you just
Um,
got to keep the team together. So communicate, help your
Yep.
teammates grow.
yeah, I mean, and learn and teach. Those are the things that are
Yes, I've been
important.
teaching them. Grow is the first thing I taught them.
Well, but I mean,
I'm
how to
gonna
actually play.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, row is important, but for some aspects of the game. But I'm gonna tell you that's not the thing that you really want to teach them. You want to teach them how to grow and how to progress, and don't over progress before you're ready to progress. Because what happens, like for example, I have some players, for example, in our 2 alliances that got up to celebrated for crying out loud in freaking um, one faction or another. It's like, dude, you're level 33. You can't do anything with that.
Well, if
You
you have a territory that has the G4 materials, then you can.
it doesn't matter though because you can't do the faction hunt too.
Oh, I do the faction hunt. I go to Gaihan, level 39 space, and it gives me credit for those higher faction ships.
Okay, well, you're an exception though, but not everybody can. At like 32, 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get up too high on your factions, and then if you do something else which is really really stupid, I've seen players do this and they have to quit because of this, is they push their ops to where they can't do even their regular dailies.
Yeah, I stay camped at 35. I've been 35 for a year and 6 months.
So you don't base. It's basically game over if you stick yourself to the point where you can't do any of your dailies. Doesn't matter if you miss your faction. You can figure something out. You can even if you had to spend money, you can figure it out. But if you can't even do your regular dailies, yeah, you're screwed. You can't do anything.
I
You're
can
done.
do dailies. I do swarm and instead of building stuff because I'm stuck on my shipyard right now. You know how that goes.
And I'd
Well,
actually
so-
actually like to hear that from Boom or somebody else to rebut that if I was wrong.
I think we should get back on our subject of improving the game.
Wait, what was
Yeah.
the subject? Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's going on? Just suggestions for Scopely to improve our
Hey,
game.
vreddy, what's going on, bro?
What's up? Dude, I don't understand how they did the same mistake again this week.
It's Scopely. Have they ever learned?
I mean, this is the Heights, dude. It was literally last week, and it was like a dumpster fire.
Well, yeah. How about here's a suggestion for Scopely. When you roll out events, make sure they actually work.
Yeah.
Last time, out of muscle memory,
Amen.
I actually clicked it. This time, I thought I used my brain and stopped myself.
Yeah. I love how they did you guys see that Boom? They announced they were gonna hold on the Treasury event, and yet they completed it anyway.
But they completed what?
The
Yeah.
upgrade the Treasury event where everything was bugged and people were getting random,
Yeah,
extra
some people
points.
got more. That's what happened to me. Somebody got 200 extra, and I got bumped from first place, then to second place, then to third place.
Well, like there was a guy on our server, he's a 56 that had over 10,000 points in the event.
That's not even possible.
It's like
Yeah, Jesus,
it's
how many other
mathematically
buildings
impossible.
did he have?
Like, I actually counted it up. I was like, all right, if you had, let's just for argument's sake, say you have your extra dry dock that is still tier 1. You have all 18 of the below the tracks generators that you never touched for any reason. They are all tier 1. And you added all that up. I calculated that you could get another like 1,200 points out of the event. So
Okay,
if
but
you were
that's saying it's level 1 though. Like nobody's level
Yeah, no,
1.
well,
this
that's what I'm
guy
saying.
was clearly buying and flipping extra bases on the side.
It's not. Yeah, it's just like when Ska talked about his Tribune that gave off baby augers. Like this is how you had to calculate in order to get 10,000 points. Like it's like how? And they're like, yeah, we're
It's
gonna
not
pause
possible
the
to get
event.
10,000 points unless it's bugged.
Exactly. And then they announced we're gonna pause the event, and they didn't.
And there are 3 hostile hounds today. I'm trying to wait so I can do all 3 together, and these idiots have still not fixed this event. Irritating me.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, but I don't want to double grind when I know I'm grinding for another hostile event anyway. So I'm holding off. I mean, it's a waste of time.
What extra hostel is there? When does yours reset?
There's a hostile event. There are 2 other hostile events. One is ticketed. One is
Oh yeah,
a
and
regular
the Pinnacle
hostile,
Power.
and
Yeah.
there's a third one for ROM. So I want to do all 3 together. I don't want to waste time. So I'm waiting for them to fix the ROM event.
Oh.
Well,
Otherwise, you have to grind again. You have to grind
God
double,
bless
right?
it. I didn't. Yeah, they have it's ticketed in the ROM thing, which I didn't click
Yeah.
on. That's
So I'm
good.
waiting for that.
I haven't
Yeah,
even
what
looked
the
at the
shit?
events yet.
Yeah, they did the same thing that they fucked up. Is that what you were referring to, Boom? They fucked up the recruit
That's exactly
ROM.
what I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
fucked up the same thing after last week.
Jesus Christ! And I didn't click that button, and I'm almost fucking red locked. God damn it!
Thank God I didn't click it this time. I clicked it last time because I didn't think it through. I was on vacation. I was just trying to get my events done.
Yeah. Well, I clicked it now. I'm not quite red locked. That's one of the things I really like about these Sundays is that there's a good gauge of when I'm going to be red locked by how long we've been bullshitting on this fucking channel.
Again, more Swarm and Doomsday. What the Come on, Scopely.
But you don't have to do swarm for that.
You don't have to do swarm. You can hit regular hostiles.
Yeah,
In fact,
regular hostiles count.
a high level. Swarm won't give you as many points.
Correct.
Yeah, but for him, I'm imagining as a free to play, you're probably not maxed yet on con, which is why he'll want to hit swarm because the threat from beyond.
Yeah, you
And
need
there's one more swarm event coming tomorrow.
Oh no, I hit
For
for
Raw.
the materials mostly. Yeah, I'm not maxed on con, but I hit mostly for the materials.
Nah, that's materials are negligible compared to con and or whatever TP. I do it for TPs basically. I don't. The materials are not that much.
So, well, the other thing is con's not.
Don't
Don't
finish it. Don't finish that thought because you're wrong.
I think I have better officers currently, but
there's no such
You're saying
thing.
Khan is not a good officer? I mean, except
I didn't
for
say
Honor
that.
Guard
I don't have
in
Honor Guard
PvP,
War.
Khan is the most useful officer other than
Yes.
AG.
vreddy is 100% correct. Khan is number one, hands down, no questions asked.
No,
the
number two.
best officer.
HGV is definitely Honor Guard Wolf is number one.
Well, okay, for PvP, I'll give you Honor Guard.
But even then, you're okay. He is
Khan,
good for PvP. Khan is good for either.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a little different, but
and until you get ROM, Khan is also your best base cracker.
Exactly. It's basically one of the best officer. I mean, one of the best all-round officers in the game.
Yeah, I would say hands down number one. He gives you, you have a lot more base officer stat with Khan,
and you get stats as well. If you just need stats, he is one of the best stats in the game for attack and health.
Yeah, he's only second to once you boost. Was it 5 of 10?
It's him and Gary Mitchell, man. They're really right at the top there.
Right after
Gary Mitchell is equal, whereas Khan has more attack and then health. He doesn't have much defense.
Correct. And then eventually, Grush is your overall any stat you need because he's equal. He's equal split, just like is it Moreau that's equal split?
No, I think Mitchell is equal split, isn't he? Oh no, Mitchell is defense, I think.
No, yeah, Mitchell's defense.
Yeah,
I was 6 of 10. Sorry, 6 of 11 now. Whatever. He's pretty even, and he gets beefier than Khan.
Who is this?
6.
6 of 11 or 12 or whatever the fuck they're gonna call him now.
3.
6 is really good too. Yeah, that's true.
But overall, if you had one officer, like you started the game yesterday, and you could magically pick one officer to either
Khan.
get and or tier, would be 100% Khan.
Yeah, he's best all around.
I'm alone right now, so I can't do any DS modders. So I'm doing like normal modders. I haven't done these in so long.
I got to do Armadas.
Yeah, Armada event.
Another fucking Armada event? Come on.
It's a 2-day one, and it's pretty easy. I just popped 2 epic 39s and I was done.
Yeah, but still,
it's still getting in. It's still getting to be annoying.
Yeah, they have 2 of them this month. They even said that, and there's one more coming. Actually, there's a alliance leaderboard for Armadas coming.
Oh God.
Yeah, they need to add exactly like what Handy was saying, and it kind of goes back to my suggestion earlier. Like it's not dynamic enough in what you can do. That's why I think doing things like letting your own alliance put up an event of who kills the most reds. Well, and or neutrals or whatever. But then that actually encourages PvP.
Tree, drop down menu, whatever, that does some random calculation on, what is an officer shard worth, or what is this RSS worth, or whatever. So that calculation is done. They have that internally. So why you couldn't do some drop down menu for your alliance and choosing an event for your alliance, like there's no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a great add-on.
Or even fuck, if they didn't want the actual rewards explicitly to be there, then just have it be the money pool. So okay, 50 people in your alliance, if they all gave $5, whatever, that's 200. Great, you got $250 worth of. If you win the event, you can spend that 250 in the Scopely store. Like Scopely still got the cash, so they can't complain that we didn't get the money. It also then normalizes the rewards for the level of the winner. So in some cases, they're kind of getting a little bit extra because if I donate $5, but someone who's level 40 wins whatever, hostile hunting event or red hunting event, like if you're hitting KOS, they're giving away less resources for that dollar value than if I bought a pack. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. It lets you do fresh and different shit for your alliance just as something to do. And that kind of activity, because fuck, this game is just so predictably boring right now.
Well, but you're absolutely right, is that the enjoyability of the game would be increased because like they tried to do kinda with ticketed events. Um, but like they tried to do with ticketed events, like letting you pick like, oh, I want to do this or I don't want to do that. Where, a lot of us basically you're gonna do every single one. So Scopely is choosing what you're doing for the day. If they gave some of that ability back to the player, I think that would increase, game enjoyment.
Well, they've already kind of
You,
done that
Yeah.
with ticketed events.
you know what would be kind of interesting?
No, the ticketed events, like Inch said, like a lot of people I know just buy the ticket packs and do all the ticketed events because they don't want to fall behind. And so it doesn't become a choice per se unless it's a Sophie's choice of, okay, what will I give up this time because I'm not buying a ticket pack this time. But people aren't finding enjoyment in it. It's not an extra fun like if they had made it where is ticketed, you get one period and that's it, and nobody else, you can't buy extra tickets to do, like then it actually makes it a choice and you can actually choose.
Exactly.
But as soon as they put in a pack to say that you can buy and do all the events, now it's only a question of, are you going to keep up with the crazy whales that are doing them all or not? And so it sucked that choice and fun right out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think we should probably just end the show here. What do you think, Tech? If you're still there, that way it's not too long.
Yeah,
I
And
thought we
then
did that.
the after party.
it's still rambling on. Anyways, but yeah, let's. It's a good stopping point here. I want to thank everybody for coming on today. Boom's gonna have a fun time editing this, I'm sure. And please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things social media asks you to do. This has been Trek Talk. I'm TechMan16.
Thank you.
And I'm Strange Kirk and Handy today.
And I'm Boom. And I'm gonna love editing this. Sorry.
Good. I'm glad you will. I'm glad you will. Okay, guys, thanks again for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And let everybody move over to the after party.
Yes, sir.